I'm Lucy Foster-Perkins for Surf Dome Surf Fit Yoga Series. I'm at Finn's Beach Club in Bali with a really strengthening yoga class that will help you loosen up any tension you have in your shoulders, as well as find the right strength you need for powerful paddles on your surfboard. Let's get going. Begin by sitting on your heels with the hands on the knees and the eyes are closed. And as you inhale, imagine the breath is coming up through the front of your body. And as you exhale, it's going down the back of your body, keeping this cycle going. Then taking your hands to the front of the mat, allowing the head to drop down and have your chest hanging in between your thighs in child's pose. And again, keeping that cycle going. So the breath comes up the front of the body and comes down the back of the body. On your next inhale, coming up to all fours, and straightening the legs out behind you to plank. Just checking that the hands are under the shoulders and the back is nice and long. As you inhale, take the weight of the body over the fingertips, keeping the back nice and long, and as you exhale, rock it back into your heels. So you find a nice long line in your back, but you're just taking the weight forwards and backwards into your fingertips. Then coming back to stillness. From here, transfer the weight into the right arm, so much so that the left hand can come to the right shoulder. And again, you don't want the hips to swing sideways or up and down. Everything stays the same, but you're rocking the weight into one hand, so let's go on to left this time, so that the right hand can come to the left shoulder. One-armed plank. Nice. Coming back to a long plank. Take a deep inhale here. Then as you exhale, rock the weight a little further forward and bend the elbows. It can be a micro bend or you can come all the way down so your chest is in between your elbows. Inhale, flip the toes over, lift the heart to upward facing dog. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Lift the chest forward, top of the head is reaching towards the sky and the thighs are off the ground. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, lift the hips to the sky, flip the toes over and take the elbows to the ground to dolphin. Check that the forearms are parallel to each other and the shoulders are staying away from the ears. Keep breathing and reaching the hips towards the sky, squeezing the elbows together so the elbows don't flare to the side. Take one more inhale here. Then as you exhale, look at the hands, press the hands into the ground so that the elbows come off the ground, maybe one then the other or maybe both at the same time, to downward dog. Then the head drop back down again, and having a couple of breaths in downward dog. Focusing on the shoulders, see if you can drop the shoulders away from the ears and create that space between the ears and the shoulders, pressing the whole palm into the ground. From here, begin to take little baby steps towards the front of the mat. Have your toes together when you get there. Hold on to opposite elbows. Bend the knees as much as you need to let the body hang down. Maybe shake the head no or nod the head yes. And breathe here. One big inhale that comes up through the front of the body. As you exhale, the breath goes down the back and you let go of the elbows. Bend the knees even more. And then slowly, slowly begin to roll up through the spine to standing. Really take your time. Let the fingertips hang down. And then once you come to standing, as you inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears and exhale them down the back. Maybe do one more of these before we get going. Nice. Standing in a nice tall mountain pose. And as you inhale, take the hands above the head, look up to the thumbs. As you exhale, fall all the way down and let the head drop down to the ground. As you inhale, roll the shoulders away from the ears, gaze towards the horizon. And as you exhale, step the right foot back, then the left foot to plank. Now we'll do 3 press-ups here with the knees on or off the ground, so take your choice. As you exhale, keep the stomach strong as you bend the elbows. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Don't let the back collapse. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Final time, inhale, straighten. And as you exhale, drop the knees down to the ground. The chest and chin comes down and you're looking forward. Hips drop down, drop the shoulders away from the ears, lift the heart to cobra. And as you exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in downward dog to reset the body. Drop the shoulders away from the ears again. Reach the heels towards the ground. Keep the stomach engaged. And keep that breath flowing up through the front of the body and down the back. Nice. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, bend the knees and look forward. Inhale, step towards the front of the mat. Come all the way to the top. Gaze towards the horizon. As you exhale, fold down. Inhale. Take the hands above the head. Come up to standing. Look up to the thumbs. And as you exhale, take the hands down to the side of the body. Nice. Inhale. Lift the hands above the head. Look up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Hands come to the ground. Inhale, flat back. Gaze towards the horizon. Exhale, step the left foot back. Then the right to plank. 3 more press-ups. Knees on or off the ground. And as you exhale, bend the elbows. Keep the stomach engaged and squeeze the elbows together. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Keep the stomach strong. Inhale, straighten. And as you exhale, drop the knees down to the ground. Chest and chin comes down. Keep the bum in the air. Now the bum drops down. Lift the heart. Shoulders drop away. Cobra. And as you exhale, tuck the toes under. Lift the hips. Back to downward dog. Keep breathing in your downward dog. Resetting the body. Resetting the shoulders. Pressing the whole palms into the ground. I keep going on about it, but this really helps with finding that external rotation in the upper arms. Nice. One more breath. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, step towards the front of the mat. Gaze towards the horizon. And exhale, fold. Inhale, hands come above the head. Look all the way up to the thumbs. And as you exhale, take the hands to the side. Nice. One more time. Lift up and look up. Exhale, fold. Keeping that breath flowing. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or maybe jump back to plank. And again, you can have the knees on or off the ground. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lower from high plank to low plank, but no lower than your elbows. Inhale, flip the toes over, lift the heart to upward dog. Really lift the chest towards the sky. And as you exhale, lift the hips, flip the toes back over, downward dog. Great. Take a full inhale here. And exhale. On the next inhale, take the right foot in between the hands. The left foot comes down to the ground at 45 degrees. And cart with the hands open to warrior 2. Keep the legs as they are. Take the right hand behind the back in between the shoulder blades, and the left hand comes underneath. And from here, either binding the fingers or holding onto your t-shirt if your fingers don't reach. Then lifting the right side of the body up and back to make a C shape from your right elbow all the way down to the hips. Keeping your legs as they were in your warrior 2 position, and you can look over towards the right. So you should feel the right hand ribs really opening up towards the sky, finding that space in the right. Now keep the arms as they are. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring your body back up and rotate the left foot so that the heel is off the ground and the hips are facing the front. Keep hold of the fingers or your t-shirt behind you. Transfer the weight into your right leg. Take the left leg off the ground and press that heel back behind you. Keep the stomach engaged. As the left heel begins to lift up, the chest begins to come down. So again, there's a long line between the top of the head all the way down the back to the left heel. Take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, bend the right leg, step the left leg back again to runner's lunge. Then opening up to the side to warrior 2. Letting go of the fingers and spreading the arms wide. Flip the right hand to the sky. Following that hand with your gaze as you lift the right arm up and over to reverse warrior. Then cart with the hands back down to the ground either side of your right foot. Take the right foot back to plank. And again lower from high plank to low plank. Flip the toes over. Lift the heart to upward facing dog. And you've got the option of lifting the hips back to downward dog. Or flip the toes over and lower yourself back down to lower plank. Inhale, press up to high plank. And exhale, downward dog. Reset in your downward dog. Take a few breaths here. Maybe come down to child's pose if your arms are a little tired. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale. Other side. Inhale the left foot in between the hands. Right heel comes down to the ground at 45 degrees. Cartwheeling the hands open, back to warrior two on the other side. Check the left knee is over the left ankle and the right leg is straight. Nothing changes from the hips down. Taking the right arm behind the back so the fingertips are reaching up. And take the left elbow above the head so the fingertips are reaching back behind the back to your right fingertips. And again, you can hold onto the t-shirt if your fingers don't touch. Looking towards the left. Now lifting the left hand side up to the sky before you go back towards the right. Remember, this is a side bend, not a back bend. Finding that space in the left hand side of the body, the left ribs. Breathing into that space. Take another inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, keeping the hands where they are, bringing yourself all the way back up. Rotating the right leg inwards so the right heel comes off the ground and the headlights on the hips face the front. Again, keeping the arms where they are, transferring the weight into the left leg, pick the right leg off, and as that right leg reaches up to the sky, the chest can come a little closer towards the ground, but keep the back and the stomach engaged. Great. Looking down to the ground. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, press the right heel even further back. And then step it back to a long runner's lunge. Nice. Turning the hips to the side. Spreading the hands and the arms wide back to warrior two. Right arm comes down to the right leg. Left arm reaches up and over to reverse warrior. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Left leg steps back to plank. Take an inhale in plank. And as you exhale, lower from high plank to low plank. Flip the toes over. Lift the heart. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Either go back to downward dog or lower to lower plank. Inhale, press up to high plank if that's your option. And exhale, meeting everyone in downward facing dog. Nice. Take a few breaths here before we try downward dog press-ups. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Then looking at the fingers, walk the hands a little closer towards the feet. And then walk the feet a little closer towards the hands. Keep looking at the fingers. And as you exhale, bend the elbows nice and wide and your head goes down towards the fingertips. Inhale, press up. Exhale, bend, nice and strong. Inhale, press up. 2 more of these, and every time you press back up again, do it really strong and fast. Nice. Then pat the hands further forward, the feet a little further back, and revisit your downward dog. Feel how the shoulders might feel a little different. Inhale the right foot in between the hands. The left knee comes down to the ground and you point the left toes. Take the hands to the right knee. Tuck the tailbone under so you're not allowing the stomach to lie on the thigh. And then interlace the fingers. Take them up and over your head and allow the chest to reach up towards the sky. So you have a back bend, but it's not collapsing into the lower back. You're really lifting up before you go back. Elbows are squeezing together and the arms are coming past the ears. Nice. Feel the front of the body as you inhale. And as you exhale, take the hands down to the ground. Step the right foot back and lower yourself all the way down to the ground, lying on your stomach. Reach the left arm towards the front and thread the right arm underneath the left with the right palm facing the sky. Then you can reach the left fingertips further forward and let the head drop down to the ground. So you should find a nice stretch in your right shoulder. From here, allowing the body to relax and release, so you're not holding any tension in the body at all. Just breathing into that stretch in the right shoulder. Take one more deep inhale and exhale. Nice. Slowly bringing yourself back up. Taking the hands either side of the ribs and squeezing the elbows together, lifting the heart to cobra. Take a deep inhale here. Then as you exhale, flip the toes over, lift the heart, downward facing dog. Walk your feet in towards your hands towards your feet, and again we'll do a few downward dog press-ups in your own time. Exhale, straighten the arms as fast and as strong as you can. Doing 4 or 5. And then padding the hands and the feet further away to downward dog. Take an inhale. And exhale. Inhale the left foot in between the hands. The right knee comes down to the ground, pointing the right toes. Hands come to the left thigh or knee. Tucking the tailbone under, interlacing the fingers and bringing the arms up and over the head, past the ears. Lift the chest towards the sky and bring that arch back into your back, but without collapsing into the lower back. Really lifting up before you go back. Great. Filling the front part of the body with air with every inhale. Nice. Deep inhale here. Exhale, take the hands down to the ground. Left leg steps back. And again, working your way down so you're lying on your stomach. This time the right arm reaches forward. The left arm threads underneath the right with the left palm facing the sky. And then the right arm reaches even further forward and your head drops down to the ground. Allowing the body to let go. Finding that stretch in the left shoulder and breathing into that part of the body. Take another inhale. Exhale all the air out. Take a final deep inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly begin to unthread the left arm. Take both hands either side of the ribs. Inhale, lift the heart to cobra or upward facing dog. Breathe into the front space of the body. And then as you exhale, bring the hips back to the heels to child's pose. Have the knees nice and wide, have the hands reaching the front, and the head drops down to the ground. Take a full inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up so you're sitting back on your heels. Then take the bum to one side so you can lengthen out the legs in front of you. So we have a few options for the next pose. Option 1 is to bend the right knee and take the right leg over the left. And you might find a nice stretch in the right hip. Or you can take the right knee over the left. Or you can tuck the left leg underneath as well and have knee over knee. So choose the right option for your hips and give yourself a hug with the right arm under the left. Stay here, or you can bind the forearms as well. If you have the forearms bound, then also begin to lift the fingertips towards the sky to find a bit more of a stretch behind the shoulders. If you find that the knees are hurting, then lengthen out the legs. If you find there's a nice stretch in the hamstrings or the glutes, the bum, or the back of the shoulders and the arms, then simply breathe into that place. You can close the eyes or fix your gaze on something in front of you that's not moving. And then on your next exhale, release the arms and release the legs. Taking hold of the back of the thighs, lifting the feet off the ground so you find yourself on your bony sit bones. Either stay here or take the hands in line with the shins. Keep the chest really lifted. And if you find you're rocking back into your lower back, then just take hold of the thighs again. Nice. Swapping legs. Lengthening the right leg out. Take the left leg over the right. And then find the same position you had on the other side. So whether it's knee over knee or whether your right leg stays straight. Then give yourself a hug, this time with the left arm under the right, binding the forearms once or twice. And then breathe again. Lifting the fingertips up towards the sky and keeping a nice straight back. Great. This stretch is great after a surf session. It stretches out the shoulders and stretches out the glutes. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Then from here, releasing the arms, and again, bringing yourself onto your sit bones and holding onto the back of the thighs. Lift the legs off, keep the chest lifted. Maybe take the hands in line with the shins, or maybe from here, it might be that the legs begin to lengthen. But again, check that you're not rocking back onto your lower back. Keep the chest lifted. One more inhale, and then exhale down. From here, take your hands behind you and take them a little wider than shoulder distance. As you inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky. And as you exhale, take the hips in between the hands, but see if you can keep them off the ground. Inhale, lift the hips back up again. Exhale, swing them in between your arms. Keep the heels on the ground. One more time. Inhale, lift up, lift the hips as high as you can go. And then exhale, swing them back, engaging the stomach, pressing into the ground with the hands. Nice. Now shuffling yourself a little further forward to the front of your mat so you can roll down on your back. We're going to move into Halasana, Plow pose. So swinging the legs over the head, use your hands to catch your back. Now if your legs don't touch the ground, you can keep them bent and the knees can even rest on the forehead. Or you can straighten the legs and the feet can touch the ground, or maybe a block behind you. If the feet touch the ground, you've got the option of interlacing the fingers behind the back, straightening the elbows so the hands come down towards the ground. You can even make a fist with your hands so that your shoulders come even closer together. Then simply breathe here. Allow the breath to begin to slow down. Breathing into the back of the body and the side of the ribs. Then from here, either keeping the hands on the ground or taking your hands to the back to support it, we're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra so that you're lying back on the ground. So choose whatever option works for you. As you roll down, keep the head on the ground as much as you can. Keep the breath going. And see if you can watch every vertebra as you roll all the way down. And then keep the stomach engaged as you lower the legs down. Then once you've reached touchdown, take the hands underneath the hips so you're lying on the top of the hands and the wrists and the palms are facing down. Then propping yourself up onto your elbows. As you inhale, lift the chest towards the sky. And as you exhale, let the head drop back. Take a couple of breaths here, really lifting that chest up and squeezing the elbows as much as you can underneath the body. Then on your next inhale, lift the chin towards the chest, release the arms, and roll all the way down onto your back. Squeeze the knees in towards the chest, give the knees a nice hug. Allow the weight of the arms to bring the knees even closer towards your chest. And then give the knees a little rock from side to side, just massaging the lower back. Great. Bringing the knees to stillness in the center. On your next inhale, bring your forehead towards your knees. And as you exhale, release the limbs and lie all the way down onto your back in Shavasana. Take the feet wider than hip distance. The hands are away from the body and the eyes are closed. Allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Allowing yourself to rest here. Allowing the body to be heavy, but to be supported by the earth. Notice any difference you have in your body from the beginning of the practice, without judging, without changing anything, simply noticing. Give yourself this time to be still. You don't have to be anywhere or do anything, but to simply lie here. Then you can begin to imagine as you inhale, the breath comes up through the front of the body, and as you exhale, it goes down the back of the body. Take another couple of deep breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Then slowly begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then rolling onto one side, curling up into a ball on one side. Have the knees bent and allow your head to rest on your hand. Stay here for a couple of moments, or you can bring yourself up to sitting, crossing the legs and taking the hands in front of the chest in prayer. Keep the eyes closed. Notice how the body feels different to the beginning of the practice. Then take one deep final inhale. And as you exhale, bow the head to the heart. Namaste. If you found this useful, then head to the other videos at the Surf Dome Surf Fit Yoga series and head to my website for more yoga for surfers.